Welcome back with a Fox News alert. Well, an Islamist armed with a knife goes on the attack in Paris, killing one and injuring 4 others.
ISIS taking credit for that attack, at least the 245th deadly one since 2015.
Well, former UK Independence Party leader, Fox News contributor Nigel Farage joins us now to weigh in. Good to see you, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you.
I wonder, President Trump got a call from President Macron of France before this happened, I believe just hours before it happened, where he was sort of registering his complaint about the president pulling out of the Iran nuclear deal. And the message from the president has been, we've got to get serious about Iran nuclear threat. We got to get serious about the Islamic terror threat around the world. And just hours later, look at this all over again.
Yeah, well, here's the point, of course, that the regime there in Tehran, which has been there since 1979, is an extreme, radical, jihadist regime. And they, of course, want to spread their ideology, not just to the Middle East, but across the whole of the world. So, anything that can be done to bring that regime down rather than prop it up must, it seems to me, be the right thing to do.
Nigel, inside France, though, you've got over 200 deaths at the hands of ISIS since 2015. What's happening there? Do they have their hands around this at all?
Well, look, this particular attack was conducted by somebody who came to France as a child refugee. So, the first thing you have to say is, whilst we want to be compassionate human beings, we have to be careful about who we grant refugee status to, who we let into our countries. But the second point, and here's the really important thing, is he was already on a suspect list. He was on a list of somebody who was a potential danger to the French state. And here's the problem. There are 40,000 people in France on that suspected terrorist or potentially dangerous list. So France has a massive problem because even if you increase and boost security, policing and all the rest of it, how on earth do you follow and monitor 40,000 people? So the one thing we can say with absolute confidence is we will see more of these attacks.
Yeah, and it's not just in France. It's right where you are as well. It's right here in New York City as well. The bridge I'm looking at behind you, how recently that attack was, and the knife, the stabbings that have gone on in London. Talk about where you are and just the policies.
Let's draw a distinction here, between terrorism and the knife attacks. Now, London crime itself, what we've seen is a 44% increase year on year in the murder rate going on in this capital. It's mostly knife crime. It's mostly associated with gangs. It is mostly black-on-black crime, although nobody has got the courage to stand up and say that for fear of being thought to be racist. And our police force, which used to, in areas of high crime, carry out stop and search. Stop people, frisk them down, see whether they had knives on them. Unfortunately, we've even backed away from doing that, again, for fear of being criticised as being racist. And the mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, who spends much of his time attacking Donald Trump or telling us we shouldn't eat burgers and other politically correct things, think about this. Over 60 people killed in this capital already this year, and the mayor of London has not visited a single one of the crime scenes and has not spoken to any of the families. And I think, frankly, what we've got to do here with crime in London is the police have got to get tougher and the mayor needs to rethink his priorities.
Yeah, look at this tweet from the mayor, to your point. Childhood obesity, a problem in London, problem in the United States. But his tweet, London has one of the highest childhood obesity rates in Europe. 40% of children aged 10 and 11 overweight or obese. As part of a package of measures in this new food strategy proposing to ban harmful junk food ads from the entire Transport for London network.
No more hamburgers than on the subway.
No more burgers, right? But he's focused on transit ads for junk food, not on the stabbing deaths?
Yeah, I think that's right. And I think it is about priorities. And as I say, he's also busy criticising Donald Trump and saying he's not welcome in London and all the rest of it. But he's not gripped it. And again, you see, one of the problems that we've had with Islamic terrorism is that we've actually been frightened of dealing with problems within these communities. Again, it's this fear that if you tackle a problem head on, you get called racist for doing so. We've got to bury this rubbish. Do you know something? Actually, on crime in London, if we got tough with the offenders, it's black lives we'd save.
Yes.
So we've got to cut this nonsense cut this nonsense, and we've got to get on doing the job and giving the police real powers.
Yeah, well, these terror attacks are a real reminder of that, happening way too often. Nigel, great to have you on as always
sir.
this morning.
Appreciate
Have a good
it.
Sunday.
Thank you.